Sponsored by the Big 98, Nashville's #1 for new country and the home of the Bobby Bones Show.
The Rockin' Review is so happy to bring you the president of Yamaha Corporation of America, 33-year veteran of Yamaha, Tom Sumner. Tom, thanks for coming on the show.
Hey, thanks for having me, Eric. Really appreciate it. How you doing?
I was telling you before we started the interview to where, I always go to the Winter Namm Show in Anaheim and obviously the Summer Namm Show here in Nashville. But I'm kind of used to seeing you on a concert stage right now, actually introducing the bands and the cool things and the awards you do. And I'm sorry that we don't get to do that in Anaheim this time.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that too. I think we all look forward to getting together and seeing old friends. And, at Yamaha, we usually put on some pretty spectacular concerts. And I know you've had Nathan East on your show, and you've had Billy Sheen on your show. So you've had lots of people that, will show up at our concerts or show up at our booth. This year, the Namm Show, it's called Believe in Music, and it's all virtual. And we're going to try to do some really cool things there too. But it's just not the same as sitting there and watching Tower of Power burn for, 2.5, 3 hours, right?
I kid you not, Tom, and I think it's been a few years ago, but I was, and once again, I got to bring this up, Yamaha has more than a booth. You guys take up a whole room right outside of the Namm Show, which I always enjoy. But I'm walking around, I'm checking out all the new instruments I'm going to cover, and all of a sudden I hear a guitar, and it's Pat Metheny. And I'm like going, that sounds like Pat. Yeah, that's Pat,
Yeah, for music geeks, the Namm Show is the real deal, right?
Right.
It drives my wife nuts because the first couple of times she walked with me around the show, I would be like, oh, there's Carol Kay. He's like, who's Carol Kay? It's like, well, she only played bass on a zillion things, and she,
Right.
She doesn't know any of them, but it's, it's great for music geeks because, all the great gear, all the great players, we had one night, this is about 2 years ago at the Namm Show, where last day of the show, and I walk in, I go, whoever that is great. And Stevie Wonder was sitting in the booth with about a zillion people around him just playing piano. And it was fabulous.
It's just so amazing too. And, and you're a musician yourself. And I think that really brings a lot of credibility to what you do with Yamaha. It's just great that all of us, when we're involved with the Namm shows, that we can try out this new music gear, hands-on, and really experience the whole thing. And I think it's incredible. And I know that you're on the board as well for the Namm show, that they're still doing this as, with virtual and everything. But Yamaha has some big announcements also with your new documentary you're teasing called Sounds of Us.
Yeah, so we wanted to do something special for the Believe in Music event. So we started about trying to recreate the concert that, you've been to and other folks have been to at the Namm Show. And it just, there's been lots of virtual concerts, and it's kind of maybe not what we want to try to do, even though, a lot of people would have done it. So we are making a documentary, or premiering a documentary called The Sound of Us, which is really about what music means to us and how impactful it is. And lots of different people, in the video. There's one, Avery Sunshine has this amazingly powerful segment, but there are lots of people in the video. It's going to be it's about an 1.5-hour documentary, but it's not geeky like a documentary. It's it's music, and there's some music in it and how music's created, and it's going to be really special.
Well, having watched the trailer for it, Tom, it was powerful. The combination of film and, the feel and the visuals and the people, it seems so engaging. I think, in this time, particularly, all of us need music even more. And so I really can't wait to see the entire documentary. And I understand that Chris Jarrow from here in Franklin, Tennessee was a major part of it.
Yeah. So Chris's team in Franklin produced the entire documentary. Now, they've won a bunch of Mid-South regional Emmys and that kind of stuff for other productions they've done. So they really know what they're doing, and they're going to make a really beautiful film.
I can't wait to see more on this. I also want to talk about your Yamaha Night of Worship that you guys are putting on this week as well.
Yeah, so we've been putting on a night of worship at the Namm Show on Thursday night, and this is going to be on Thursday at Believe in Music event as well. And I think this is about the 12th year that we were putting on a night of worship. So this year, again, it's going to be virtual, but we have several different acts that are going to be in it. Last year was Michael W. Smith live, which was just, oh, it was spectacular, a spectacular event. But this year's going to be also spectacular, and you'll see some shots in and around Nashville as well. So it'll be a nice event.
Well, and I got to bring this up too. With the Namm Show, as you and I both know, so many companies like yourself with Yamaha will roll out new instruments that may not come out and reach the public until March or the summer or whatever. But Yamaha has 40 new products coming out.
Yeah, and so honestly, most years we've had like 100 new products at the Namm Show, and you're trying to it's like, tell me about all your new products. It's like, well, how much time you got? You have a day and a half. But yeah, we're launching some new products at the Believe in Music event, and so one of the products that's really amazing, we have this new thing, a digital saxophone. So we were talking once about, hey, these are instruments that I would love to be able to play, and they really speak to me. The saxophone is one of those instruments that speaks to me, but trying to you have to get the embouchure right and getting the tone and all that stuff. And the guys that that do that, it's just amazing to me. But with this, it's a digital, so you just basically blow into it. So it's pressure sensitive, but you don't have to learn the whole embouchure thing. And that part is cool. And obviously you can play it, with headphones, you can play it and plug it into an amp, do all that kind of stuff. And it's also an acoustic instrument, meaning you can play it acoustically. And the other thing with saxophone is, how do you choose, right? So it's like, hey, the Barry sax is really cool. Oh, tenor's amazing, right? But this has it all built in. So there are lots and lots of wind instruments built into here. So, if you want to do pan pipes or something, it's built in. So that's one of the cool instruments where it's like, we've even had saxophone artists, people that actually do know how to play, and they can't put it down because it's just fun, right? But for folks that are musicians, that's like, hey, I'd love to learn how to do that, or even non-musicians who are just really attracted to the saxophone, it's standard saxophone fingering, but you don't have to do the whole embouchure thing, and you don't have to annoy your whole family hearing this while you're trying to learn how to play it, right?
That's like when I was doing trombone as a youth. But one of the things I love too, and Yamaha has always been so inventive and innovative, like when you guys first came out with the silent guitars, because I've got the first generation, but at last year's NAMM show, you guys came out with the new upright silent bass.
Yeah, so I mean, we try to have instruments that are appealing to people, and I have never personally tried to carry a double bass on a subway. Never tried to do that. I think it would stink. I think that would be really bad. So, but the silent bass, it plays like a bass, and the bass players that we know, like Nathan East and those kind of folks, I mean, they love playing it because it has the same feel, like the body's there, even though it's not. And you can just put it in a little case and carry it on the subway or an airplane or whatever you want to do. But bass is amazing. I love that. That's an instrument I'd love to be able to play as upright. I mean, I've got a 4-string electric on the wall back there, but upright is just the coolest.
During this time, it seems like musical instruments, people are picking up more musical instruments again, playing more because they've been in quarantine, they've been at home. Oh, yeah. What is your thought on that?
Yeah, so it's been one of the positives of the pandemic. Maybe there ain't too many of them, but one of them is that people have taken up music again, and more people have just taken up music. So usually in a given year, so we sell, we definitely sell a lot of guitars and keyboards to folks that are just starting out. But this year, more and more people are starting to play, which is nice. And one of the things that I personally like that drives me crazy is it's like, wow, we sold all these guitars. It's like, great. Who's playing them? Are they actually learning to play? If they're going under a bed someplace or in a closet, we haven't done any good, right? So with quarantine, people have had a chance to learn how to play, actually spend some time with it. So people are, definitely taking up music and recording. So a lot of guys that play a bit, recording products have been selling like crazy, guitars and keyboards. Those things are all doing, just great. And people are getting much more involved in music, which is great to see.
Tom, I want to make sure our viewers know where's the best place to go for web, for social media, everything for Yamaha this week, particularly with all the new launches.
Yeah, so all of our social media handles, whether it's Instagram or Facebook or Twitter, it's Yamaha Music USA. So, at Yamaha Music USA. That's the easiest way to go. Our website is usa.yamaha.com, and there's a direct portal into all of the stuff that's happening at Believe in Music and all of the 40 or so new products that we're releasing this week, information on all of those. And we've got some great, because you can't have your in-person demo that you usually get at the Namm Show. We have some people demoing the product. At least you can see video demos of some of the new products that we have coming out.
And that's one of the things I've always loved about coming to the Yamaha room is that, your people will take me through the instruments, whether it be guitar, bass, drum, keyboards, everything, PA systems, and then they hand it to me.
Yeah.
And, I think that's the joy of it that I'm going to miss this year. But, still very involved in the Namm Show, Believe in Music, because it's such an incredible deal.
Yeah.
And also, I think that the public can really get a taste of it this year to where maybe they can't go to Anaheim, or maybe in the summer they can't come to Nashville, but it's like now they can enjoy it virtually and really be a part of this.
Yeah, so before you had to be in the industry or media to get into the show. And when we were looking at the Namm Show this year, it was like, well, we want to get as many people involved as possible. So it's actually, you can go and register for Believe in Music. Go to namm.org and register for Believe in Music. There's no cost. You can get in and see the concert stuff. You can see the Sound of Us, the Night of Worship, all of that stuff, and go and check out the sort of virtual trade show booths as well. So anybody can be involved at this point. Everybody in the pool, as they say.
It's just a great opportunity. Well, Tom Sumner, I can't thank you enough, for everything that you're doing with Namm Show and also with Yamaha. Thanks so much for coming on the Rocket Review, Tom.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Sponsored by the Big 98, Nashville's #1 for new country and the home of a Bobby Bones Show.